Robert, Amir Khan took on Carlos Molina at the LA Sports Arena on the campus of University of Spoiled Children. Amir Khan looked pretty good. He had a technical knockout going into the 11th round, a smart decision to stop the fight because Carlos Molina, granted he landed a lot of good shots, he simply could not stop Amir Khan in his tracks at all throughout this fight. He was bleeding profusely throughout. He started bleeding in the first round. He got cut many times by Amir Khan. Khan now 27-3 with 19 knockouts. Would you say, and I mean this is just on the surface, but wouldn't you say that if Amir Khan fought a better fighter, a stronger fighter, that this fight would have changed drastically?
It might have changed drastically, but I think it was a smart fight for Khan to take, given that he has had so much trouble in his last couple of fights. Molina's no slouch, as we know. Again, he moved up in weight. He's really not Khan's class, but it was a good fight for Khan coming back, and I thought he put on a really good performance. I think he showed aspects that he did not possess before. I think that his working with Virgil Hunter, even though it's only been a couple of months, is already beginning to sort of to bear fruit.
Let's talk about Virgil Hunter. This was their first fight together after Khan was with former trainer Freddie Roach since 2008. So here's what he said about Virgil Hunter. Virgil is a great trainer, and I'm getting better at boxing and at being a complete fighter. He's teaching me boxing, speed, patience, and picking the right shot and when to throw it. Sometimes I'm too brave for my own good, but now I know it's better to stick to the game plan. Was the game plan to, unleash combinations on Molina, use the jab, and then as Paulie Malignaggi would say, there are many ways to quote Paulie Malignaggi. This will be one of the few. When he said, he'll go in, he'll unleash a few combinations, and then he'll take a walk. Excuse me, and he'll circle around. Is that sort of the game plan that Virgil Hunter wanted to institute into Amir Khan's game?
Well, I think that's part of it for sure, and I think that Khan executed that beautifully. Also, when Khan got nailed, he didn't feel compelled to sort of trade punches. That always seemed to be Khan's weak point, that he is such a warrior that when people start punching him, he wants to punch them back, rather than taking a walk, as Paulie said, recomposing himself, establishing his superiority at a distance, and then making his move when it's appropriate to make a move. I think that Khan put on a great performance, and again, I think his next performance will be even greater still.
Look, I think it was a good performance. I don't know if I'd classify it as great, because I still feel like Amir Khan is absolutely entertaining to watch. He's a very good fighter, a very technical fighter. But again, I mean, I have not seen a lot of improvement in his defense. I understand that maybe he was a little more patient this time around with Carlos Molina, but the fact is he got hit repeatedly, over and over and over. So if he were to fight, Canelo Alvarez was ringside. If he were to fight a Canelo, if he were to fight a guy with a little more power, doesn't have to be as skilled as Molina, but if he fought a guy with more power, I don't think that this would be the end result in an Amir Khan fight. I think that he probably would have gotten knocked out, or he probably would have gotten knocked out over the course of 8 to 10 rounds, or he would have lost the decision because he's such a warrior that he would get back up from getting knocked down.
Well, your point is well taken. I don't necessarily disagree, but I do think that he has only been working with his new trainer, who we know is exemplary. We need only look at Andre Ward to know that. But give him a little more time. Give him another few months to work with his new trainer. Okay. I think both Khan and his trainer are aware of Khan's defensive liabilities, and I think they're going to correct them. One can't correct that much. I mean, the body has its own memory and tends to resort to what it knows, especially under fire. But I think give him a little more time. I think we're going to see improvement with Amir Khan, and I think he'll also step up the competition in his next fight. So it's way too soon to write off Amir Khan. That's for sure.
I'm not totally writing him off. I'm just saying that if he were to fight a better counterpuncher with more power, the fight would have changed. That's all I'm pretty much trying to say. Assess Carlos Molina's performance really quickly. He's now 17-1-1, his first loss of his career. He looked good. He was countering Amir Khan like crazy, throwing a lot of overhand rights. He was using his counter punches to try and win rounds. He only landed 87 punches in the fight, so not a ton. But assess his performance.
He's a good fighter, but he's not an A fighter. He's not an elite fighter. He's a B fighter. Put on an excellent performance. Again, he exposed some of the liabilities that Khan possesses that you pointed out. But I thought he put up a good performance, especially since he was cut as badly as he was. And again, I mean, fighting somebody with the hand speed of Khan, one has to really be special. And again, a couple of fighters have been special. They've flattened them. But again, I think Khan is a work in progress, which is hard to imagine because he's been fighting for so long. But I think with a new trainer, he is going to continue to develop. The liabilities, the holes in his defense that you pointed out, are very real. But I think that they're closing, and that they will be closing even more the next time we see him in the ring.
What kind of performance would it have meant for Amir Khan if he were to knock out Carlos Molina? Because you said that he jumped up in weight. You know, it's 5 pounds. I think it's certainly a lot because a lot of fighters are not like a Manny Pacquiao where they could just keep jumping up like crazy. Adding on 5 pounds is a little different for a fight, at least from an outsider's perspective. So what kind of, you know, cherry on top would it have meant for Amir Khan to knock out Carlos Molina?
Well, I guess it would have been a cherry of a sort, but I mean, he basically forced his corner to throw in the towel. They saw the beating that their fighter was taking, and
sure,
mercifully, they stopped the fight. Also, it came out, I think earlier today, that Khan actually had 2 busted hands. He had fractures in both hands. So if anybody wants to call into question Khan's toughness, just look at that latest medical report, and that therein lies your answer.
Sure, that is a very fair point. So let me ask you this. Amir Khan looked very, very good in this fight. Again, some defensive liabilities, but overall, always entertaining. What could be next for him?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly. He's going to step it up. This is his first fight back in a way. I think he's going to really get back into the gym and continue to work with Virgil Hunter, continue to develop, continue to close some of the gaps in his defense, and I think that he will increasingly become a more complete fighter. We won't know until he fights somebody like Danny Garcia, which is down the road for sure. That's an inevitable match, but not yet. It's too soon. I think let him continue to learn, let him continue to develop, and we in turn will see what develops with Khan in his career.
Robert Exel, the editor-in-chief of Boxing.com. You can follow him on Twitter at boxing_com and follow his great writing at www.boxing.com. Do us a favor, leave your thoughts on all of these matches in the comments section below. We didn't even touch on the undercard. Unfortunately, we don't have time, but Angulo and Deontay Wilder look good as well, so you guys can discuss that as well with myself, Robert, and, well, our community of fans in the comments. And please do us a favor and subscribe to TYT Sports. Robert, we will talk to you again soon.
Okay, see you soon, Rick.